hello. I'll do a little quick countdown, 10 to 1. That's it. Countdown is over. Really quick. So, folks, and I'm just doing a bit of taping one time as well, too. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to webinar, our second webinar. This is called Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. Most of us just think about the next moment and we forget the moment that we're actually living in. So we want to maximize this moment as much as we can so we can have a better moment following afterwards. It's indeed a joy for me today to do the introduction because as you would have seen in our email, this webinar is entitled The Andrew Lewis Story. The Andrew Lewis Story. And before we get to that story, we want to say a special thank you to Republic Bank for making this possible. Republic Bank has partnered with Andrew and I, not for the first time. And we want to again say thank you to Republic Bank. You really demonstrate, of course, the power to make a difference. And we're really, really happy with what you're doing with us, and for the nation, and for the benefit of many people. We have people here who are looking on Andrew, not just from Trinidad and Tobago, because we have some people who are on and they're here from worldwide, whether it be Canada. I know we have Laura Lee. I don't know. Have you seen Laura Lee on us yet? I haven't seen her on us yet, but is Laura Lee on? So I want to say a special hello.
She's on.
So hi, Laura Lee. I want to say a special hello to you and for emailing us at andrewandonlive@gmail.com with some wonderful suggestions for upcoming programs as well too. And maybe I'm going to talk, Laurie, a little bit about something you shared with me yesterday that's going to be a benefit. But we've all been waiting, folks. Many of you heard of this young man. You probably see him on a lot of, even in the time of COVID, you would have seen him on a lot of advertisements saying his piece. You would have seen him closer to the Olympics, lots of advertisements, lots of sponsors, including Republic Bank, major sponsor for Andrew. But there's a lot to the man. You know, when we tell somebody hi, from the time we say hi, and it's actually the word, they have some history. So there's hi and story together, that's history. And we all have some history. And I'm just going to share a lot. You know, today he's going to show you some pictures, folks. And the pictures are not meant to be graphic in any way, but we need to bring the story home. We need to bring the story home and to show you what Andrew has been. We just watch at people and we don't know their story. So folks, get ready, hold your seats. I'm holding my seat as well too, because this is Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, and all of the moments aren't positive, as Andrew is going to share. So I want us all, if we could just give a little type and say, Andrew, be encouraged by his story. Just say that even before the story. Trust me, just send us a little type and say, be encouraged by the story. Because I'm sure when he gets into the pictures, okay? I'm sure when he gets into the pictures, some of you will not be able to type, okay? So on your marks, Andrew, Andrew, get ready. This is called Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. This is our second webinar, the second out of 16 webinars. And we're glad to have all of you in. And Andrew's now going to tell what I've been calling and just saying, it's the Andrew Lewis story. So, Andrew, it's all yours.
Thank you very much for the lovely introduction, Don. I really appreciate that. Before I bring up my presentation, I want to say a very, very humongous thank you to every single one of you who have made it here today. And I look forward to sharing this with you all. So I would like to, before I start, to remind you all that I have one or two graphic images, and I will tell you before I put it on, so you have a little heads up, because I don't want to make anybody feel ill or anything. But at the same time, my story needs to be told in a way where you could really understand, and this is what pictures really help do, you know. So let's roll. All right, let's bring it up. All right. So my story is much bigger than what you're gonna hear today. I was born in 1989, and this story starts in 2015. So many people ask me, you know, is this the hardest thing you've ever went through in your life? And I say it's one of, but there are a lot of things that I have gone through. And this is one story that I'm very well recognized around the world for. But just remember that it's up to you what you want to do with your story in life. And I haven't chose to tell the story to become famous. This story chose me not to become famous either, but to share expressions, to share feelings, to share memories for one purpose, to all help us realize that we are miracles. Every single one of us. People call me Andrew Lewis, the miracle child. Some people come to me and say, Andrew, you're a miracle. And I say, no, you are. And they say, what do you mean? I am a miracle? I say, yes. And sometimes I go into detail about it. But to elaborate a little bit more on that, let's start with this here. The fact you're alive, healthy, and able to work is literally a miracle. Do you realize what has to happen for you to be born? And the chances you came out as you, the odds of you being born as you are about 1 in 400 trillion or more. Just think of that. That means that if you want to call me a miracle child, no problem, because we all are. Every single one of you here in this room, not just Andrew, Ivan, David, Lewis. Not just me, all of us. So while I tell this story, I tell the story because I want you all to realize that is that we are blessed with this opportunity of life. We are all miracles. So this next image is a little bit graphic. So it starts on the 13th of December, 2015. I had already qualified for the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. And I was down there training, preparing for the race. In the sport of sailing, we like to go down there. And we like to get as familiar as possible with the winds, the waves, the currents. I like to say that I like to become local in the area of the Olympic Games or a championship. That's really special to me. So I had planned to go down to Rio 3, 4, maybe even 5 times before the Olympic Games to get that feel of the venue, to get that. And that's what sailors do actually, because we have so many variables in our sport. We like to go to venues. So on the 13th of December, I was returning home from a lovely evening and we realized we forgot the house key. And me being the smaller person, my Dutch training partner at that point in time lifted me on top of the wall just to get over the wall, like you would do as a young boy or sometimes as a young girl. You jump over the gate if you get locked outside. You want to get home. So said, so being done. And this is probably one of the biggest learning lessons for me of where my life really changed in a big way. Because, you know, you go into many things in life just by natural instinct and reaction. But at the same time, when I was climbing this wall, I did think, okay, cool, I'm not going to jump over because it's a big drop below. I'm going to let myself down because, you know, we have the Olympics coming up soon. I don't want to twist my ankle or anything. Little did I know that this lovely piece of concrete, which you will see the exact wall in this presentation, was not built for what I was doing. So I was letting myself up down the wall, and what is called a cap, it's a small roof, came down on top of me. So as I said, this next image is going to be a little graphic, but this is how I woke up a few hours later. So this is 13th of December. What happened in that moment? You see in the left image, 2 broken ribs, a broken fibula and tibia, and a face that was needed facial reconstruction from my jaw to my skull to all over. What you're seeing here is only half of my face, and the other half has a lot more screws and plates. So let's go into this story now, because that's what happened to me. This is moments after I had realized what had happened to me. Faith is in my right hand. From as soon as possible, I was able to kick in faith. As I said in the last presentation, for those of you who are new, I don't necessarily mean faith in religion. Yes, I am a religious guy, but I mean belief. Faith, I can come through this. Faith that I will continue to live. Faith that I will not die. And that alone was enough for me to start the process of what I call another opportunity in life. This was not my time to go. This was not the Lord calling me at this point in time. This was a message. I call this a blessing. People ask me, why didn't you sue the family for the wall? I said it was not their choice for me to go on the wall. It was my choice. That is not the godly thing to do, in my opinion. Do the thing that's right. And what I did was right is I decided to get my life back. Step by step by step. I am human, and it was not easy. And this is what it was looking like, surgery into surgery. Yes, my father was able to be there with me. He was the only one who was able to be there with me. And I actually didn't want too many people there with me because it was a very hard time for me to go through, and you don't want to be in an overwhelming situation. So what I want to really tell you about this hospital experience, let's go in a little bit more of a detail. I'm in a public hospital in Rio de Janeiro where it's really, really bad. It's a very, 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 very hard place to be. You know, throughout this hospital experience, I had people in the beds in the bed opposite to me. One passed away. On the left-hand side of me, I had a drug addict coming in, beating up people. The nurses were freaking out. There was a big drama inside there. I had a lot of experiences. But what did I do? I tried to make as many connections as possible with the people inside there and build relationships with the nurses, build relationships with the doctors. While going through this enormously tough time, I wanted to know that I could make them feel good about the job that they're doing, not them make me feel good. Because automatically, when you share love, love will come back in return. I was singing sometimes in there with the doctors. I was in there, trying to speak Portuguese. And it was a very special moment when I was able to see my father for 1 hour per day. Eventually, I was able to have my phone. I was able to talk to my girlfriend at that point in time, my mother back home, my siblings. I was able to connect to my family again through my phone. And what I realized is they were hurting on the other side very bad. As much as I was hurting, they were hurting on the other side really badly. And I don't want to cause any pain. I don't want to cause any sadness. And that's not the person I want to live as. But what I did is I continuously told them and encouraged them that I am going to be okay. No matter how I come out of here, I am going to be okay. And I would tell my dad, I wasn't sure, but I would tell my dad, one day I will sail again. One day I'll walk again. One day I'll eat again. One day I will breathe properly again. Because if you look at the accident and what had happened to me, I had a tube in my left lung to drain the lung. I had a broken jaw, so my mouth inside was wired together, so I couldn't eat anything. And I had a broken leg. So some of the most important things in our life, we tend to not realize how special they are. I want you to try and walk around on one leg for one day, or try and drink from a straw for one day, or try and breathe only half the amount you breathe every day. Try that for one day. You'll really see how special eating, breathing, and walking is. It is a miracle that we're able to do these things. And I really want to encourage everybody, do not play with your life. Your life is a blessing, and every single part of it, even the things that you do not like, are a blessing. They're a lesson. There's something to learn inside there. And if we can continue to see the hardships as not a downward spiral in our life and not an end to all, if we could see these hardships as a lesson, we will learn so much more and so much faster. And growing up for me wasn't easy. And I think that is what really strengthened me, as well as being an athlete. We're pushing all the time. Our bodies want to be as strong as possible. These are the kind of things that helped me recover. So let's understand what took place here. Facial reconstruction is when they cut your head from ear to ear, right? And they peel, believe it or not, they peel your face down to your nose. And then they start to plate you up and screw you up and build you back. Yes, if you feel my face, I could feel screws, I could feel plates. They're in my face. They exist. They're gonna be there forever. No reason to take them out. As a matter of fact, as they say, what will kill you make you stronger. I have some more metal inside of me, feeling stronger than ever. So these are the kind of repercussions of some of these surgeries. And throughout my hospital time, you would have seen a lot of these things. I couldn't move my jaw. I couldn't move my face, actually. But this is me smiling. This is very, very happy images of myself. These are some of my most special images that I look back on that I never really shared with anybody. But I could not smile. My face didn't work. But inside, knowing I got to leave the hospital, knowing I was getting to go back home to my family, my heart was smiling so much. I was so grateful to the Lord for this opportunity. But there was a moment in the hospital that wasn't my proudest moment, but it was a human moment. It was when I was going for my first leg surgery, where they were going to put in that big rod with the 4 screws and the wire. And the hospital floor wasn't the smoothest floor. And they had me on a stretcher that was bumping around. And I could feel my bones rubbing against each other on the way to the surgery. I've never experienced pain like this before. I've never experienced anything like this before. And I said to the Lord, Lord, if this is my time, I have no problem going. I have no problem going, Lord. If this is my time, you can take me now. That is what life will come to at some point in time. Not in everybody's life, but at some time in your life. And this is not a proud moment. This is a human moment. This is something that I went through, and we are not built as I once thought. We're not built as robots. We're not built with no pain in our body. We're not built invisible. We're built to take pain, but there's an extent. But as it's a real big testimony, it's a real big statement. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And I learned in that life lesson that I can be stronger. I came through that moment. The Lord didn't take me. I wasn't time to go. And this is what you're seeing here. I'm leaving this hospital. On your left-hand side, that's me actually in the airport, getting ready to take my flight the day after. I'm leaving this with, I don't know what's going to happen with my life. I don't know what's going on. There's so many things in my body that are really and truly all over the place. And I just didn't know. Really didn't know. But what I did know is faith was firing. Faith was alive. My family was on the other side of a country waiting for me. I knew that my purpose in life was to stay alive and continue believing and continue doing what I want to do. And this here is me, arriving home, being with my family. I actually had so many more photos of this thing with my mother and my father and my sisters came over to my house, but I couldn't find them for that presentation. I'm missing some photos, but eventually I will post them there. But it was a really special moment to have my whole family back. But at the same time, it was really overwhelming because imagine out of nowhere, so many people want to see you. So many people want to hear from you. How are you? How are you doing? It's overwhelming and it's hard because you're also in a position in your life where you need to breathe. You need to rest. You need to catch yourself. And when you're after an experience like that, going through all these surgeries and stuff, they put you on a lot of medication and stuff. My body wasn't My body was going through a real tough time as I came off all the medications. You know, I was sweating in my bed at night. I had to change my sheets every night. I couldn't sleep properly because my leg was hurting me. I had to continue twisting, turning. My lung would be hurting me at some point in time. I was also scared. I was scared. Would my lung ever stop hurting? I didn't know. My jaw used to hurt a lot too. I used to get cramps in my jaw. Would I be able to eat again? And I came home to Trinidad to think that I was okay and I was going to start to recover. And then the doctor said, all right, Andrew, you have to have more surgery on your jaw now. And I said, no way. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. And that was a hard moment for me. But, you know, something just said, you know, this is a sign. Push through, Andrew. Push through, push through. And some of the things that really happened to here is I've lost a little bit of hearing in my left ear, but maybe 12%. But when you spend so much time with this hearing, you really and truly don't even realize it anymore. Because my ear is a little bit damaged on the left, I have to pop my ear all the time. Just like you're in a plane, you know, or going up a mountain, you got to pop your ear. And my knee gets sore when I train really hard. My ankle gets sore when I train really hard. But are these moments, are these things that they're gonna stop me in life? Are these things that to tell me, Andrew Lewis, you have to stop, you have to give up? As a matter of fact, these things that encourage me even more. Why do they encourage me? It's because these things are part of my faith. These things talk to me. These things are signs to me to tell me, Andrew, your knee is so special. Take care of it a little more. Andrew, your ankle is really special. Take care of it a little more. Andrew, your lungs, you're blessed with lungs. You can breathe. Stay in clean air. You know, don't be around smokers. Don't do things that will hurt yourself. Take care of your body. These are direct signs that I actually get to live through every day because I do feel my knee. I do feel the screws. Sometimes I lie down my hand. I feel the screws in my face. I can feel the screws in my leg. I have all these signs in me, and we all actually have signs, even if you have surgeries or not. They tell, hey, my back is a little sore. And people say, oh, my back is sore. I can't make it to work. I have to lie down. And I believe differently. I believe that all these aches and pains and struggles we get in our life are actually signs that are telling us, hey, Andrew, you know, or hey, this is an opportunity here for you to learn to sit properly, or for you to, you know, get a mattress that's more solid for you. These are opportunities. These are not negative messages. And there was one point in time, because your eyes are some of the most powerful things that allow you to have. And I don't know if everybody in here even has that blessing or that opportunity to see. There may be some people here in this chat that don't have that opportunity in life. And if you don't, I'm still really happy to have you in here today, because regardless of what you do or don't have, being here is a blessing. Being here is a blessing. I don't have everything. No one in this room has everything. So I was returning to the eye doctor because my left eye was not holding my tears. So what looked like I was crying all day was just my tear gland, which is your bottom eye that catches the eyelid. And actually, while we're going here, if you all have any questions as we're going along, please send the questions and Don will read them out to me. Because there could be a lot of questions and I don't want you to lose your questions. So write your questions and Don will read them out to me and then I will answer them. So I was going to the doctor, and this guy would call me all the time and say, Andrew, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? I'm coming to visit you. And sometimes I might say, you know, I can't do right now, or you can come over now. But he would always look out for me. And there are a lot of people that were checking for me. My team is big. And in another episode, we're going to talk about team. Because team is life. Team is life, if you ask me. You got to have a team. And this guy calls me on the phone. He says, Andrew, how are you doing? How are you doing this morning? This is probably like 7:30 in the morning, Trinidad time. And I'm like, well, boy, having a rough morning, boy. My eye is bothering me. I just don't know if it'll ever stop tearing. All day long it's tearing. And the only thing I can do is I can only lie down and put my head up. When I put my head up for too long, it hurts my neck, and I can't watch TV. I have to lie down now. Otherwise, I just tear and I tear and I tear, and I don't know what to do. You know, the doctor said that, you know, he thinks it may heal back, and if it doesn't heal back, we have to have another surgery. And I said, oh my God. And this guy says to me, he says, Andrew, you feel like you're nowhere, no? And Don, you want to tell a little story here? What?
Yeah, well, you know, I am Andrew. I'm really caught up in his story here, and I mean, some of it I'm hearing for the first time as well. You know, and of course, you could have given me the opportunity to hear it before, but I prefer to hear it like everybody else. You know, and there's a lot that's coming out. And when I heard Andrew's voice on the phone, Andrew was sounding out. He was losing hope. You know, he had been through this traumatic experience. Forget so much about the Olympics. Just talking about, you know, just talking about living and getting on with a normal life. And I shared with him, I was on my way to a presentation, and I said, Andrew, I will come and see you at West Shore. I will come and see you later on. But here's what I want you to have in your mind for now. And I shared with him, I said, Andrew, you're feeling like you're nowhere, right? And I said, what word did I use there? And he said, nowhere. And I said, Andrew, that word is really how you look at it. That word is really now here. Because many times we go through life thinking that we're nowhere. And when we do that, we're not in control. You know, some things we're not in control of, but we're not even in control of ourselves. We're just thinking that there's nowhere and I'm not going to get anywhere and it's not going to work out for me. But I have to say, Andrew, okay, now here. And now here, let's talk about the help that you need to get to where you need to help you to get where you need to get to. And that was so earth-shattering for Andrew. At least I realized afterwards when I was invited to the video of this whole episode with Andrew Fall and whatever, launch of a video. And then I remember Andrew standing on the stage there and saying, Don Africa, I want to share with you, just that one word makes a difference. And folks, for those who are looking on, who would know me and my style of presentation, I do a lot of things with words. It's a gift from God to do, and I don't take it granted. And I want to tell you that all of us are gifted. All of us are gifted. You know, don't look at yourself anything less than Andrew and I are not better than anybody. Andrew and I are certainly not better than anybody. We're just trying to be better versions of ourselves every single day, and we do that with God's help. Okay, and one word, so there's nowhere and there's no here. And if you look at the word fall and you look at the word wall, and Andrew was 500 pounds, if I'm not mistaken.
A
was
lot,
it 500 pounds?
a lot.
Yeah, but the word fall and the word wall, they both have all in it. So falls happen to all. And yes, Josette, we do take so many things for granted. 1 minute you're just fine and everything, you're on top of your game and life is, hello, Olympics is in my sight. And then all of a sudden, you're trying to get your sight right. You're trying to see right. You can't. It was amazing for me when I visited him. It was so sad for me to know that when he leaned forward, there's tears falling down his eyes. And I was like, Andrew, you could stop that. It's okay, don't cry. I almost went like, Andrew, don't cry, I'm here. But he said, no, Don, there's nothing I could do. That water is going to keep coming down there. And let's not look at people. Sometimes, and I've been around with Andrew, we've been to schools, and I've heard one, two students make some very, that's what they don't know better. What a white boy could tell me. And at the end of the presentation, they have a piece of paper, boy, your story really encouraged me. You could sign here for me. But we have to give people a chance, and we all have a story to tell. And Andrew's sharing his story, and for the benefit of all of us, I included, for the benefit of all of us. And Andrew, there's more to that story. I know it just doesn't go on now and now here. But let's talk a little bit more about that story, Andrew.
Yes, and I want to answer this question that Chris asked. Do you feel depressed at times, or are you always in a positive mood? Fantastic question. The word depression, I try to say sometimes that I want to stay away from it because I really don't know, but serious sadness has occurred in my life. Serious sadness. I like to be very careful with my words, and the word depression is a very, very sad word, and sad is also a sad word. But if I was to be real, there must have been some moments of depression for sure. That is only human. But this is me, where my mindset is likes to be really strong. That sometimes I played my mind that maybe I wasn't depressed, but for sure there's really strong moments that, of course, I was really sad and down. Now, when I was in these moments, these very, very hard moments, you don't always have somebody to talk to. And, you know, you always want something you could relate to. Some people you could talk to them about this, some people you could talk about that. You know, I could call Dawn for certain thing, I could call my mom for certain thing, I could call my family for certain thing, I could call my wife for certain things. You could call different people for certain things. But in sometimes you don't want to talk. You don't want to talk, you just want to listen. But you don't want to express that to anybody either, to even start the conversation. And these are very important moments where sometimes you stay by yourself. And some people do nothing. And for me, my style is either music or I go to some motivational content, whether this is a movie, a documentary, a book. We have the World Wide Web. We have so much opportunity out there that we don't always need to reach out to a person in particular. Sometimes you don't want to talk. Sometimes you want to start in a moment where you want to just listen to some good music, get that energy flowing, music that makes you feel uplifted, and music that can bring you down. Understand what music does what for you. I had a playlist, and I kept adding a song or two every now and then to that playlist. And maybe I should find that playlist and share some songs with you all, because there's some really cool, powerful songs inside there. And I used to watch these really powerful movies of athletes who fell and had big problems in their life and made it come back. And I'd watch these different speeches about different people who had falls and made big comebacks. And I realized I'm not the only one in this. I'm not the only one in this. There are so many people around the world who have had big falls in their life and have been able to have big comebacks. And
yeah. Andrew, if I can, I know you're sharing there, and I know you're going to probably touch on the answer, but there are two specific questions, even as you chat, Andrew. Kyle is asking, what made you feel so confident when everything was going so bad and you didn't know what to do? So what made you feel so confident? And somebody asked here, a very interesting question. Joette, in fact, are there any scriptures that you recite to keep you focused? So what made you feel so confident? And are there any particular scriptures that you hold on to? Because scripture helps, you know? Scripture helps.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic question. So the first question is, if you have a routine, if you have something that you can follow, if you have a plan, some sort of plan, it creates a lot of confidence. So I set out to create a plan, something I could follow. Because if you have a goal, which in some cases is a dream, and my dream was simple. I want to walk again, I want to eat again, and I want to breathe properly again. 3 simple goals. Now I started to create plans. First one was the breathing. So I got a little thing called a spiralizer or something like that. You blow into it, and I keep my routine. I wake up in the morning, I do what I need to do, and then I do my exercises. And if you have a vision, a dream of where you want to go, what you want to do, and then you create a little plan to follow along with that, it raises your confidence, because the more you do something by nature, you will get better at it. That's a fact. You will get better at it. How much better at it you get, it depends how fast of a grower you are, a learner you are in some instances, and we're all different around this. So I took that style to bring me out of my sadness. So I said, you know what? If I do these exercises, my lung will come back. And I saw it 1 week later, I saw it another week later, and week by week, I saw my lung coming back, and I felt less pain. And I went to the bank one day, and this lady said, you know, Andrew, I saw your accident. It was terrible. I'm so sorry to hear about you, what happened and everything. And she's like, you know, I also had a collapsed lung, and, you know, my lung still hurts me every single day. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is not gonna work out good for me. And I got sad. I was down. I was like, oh no, my lung's gonna hurt me for the rest of my life. And That's natural. People are going to tell you these things, you know, and it's up to you to decide if you want to listen to it or not. I didn't listen to it. I heard it. It affected me. I absorbed it, and I said, you know what? I have a plan. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to stick to my plan. My plan is, one, stay at faith. Listen to the Lord and do the exercises. And the breathing got better and better. And it will hurt every now and then, but it got better and better. And then I challenged myself, and my wife challenged me a lot too. She said, every day you're going to walk one step more. And I had a chair, and a normal chair, and I would walk one step at a time. With a chair, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. I don't think every single day was a step. Today when I went 1, tomorrow 2, and then tomorrow the day after that 1 again. Don't think every day was just all of a sudden boom, and I was walking 30 days later. No, I walked really fast because I tried a lot. I scheduled myself in a routine. I'm gonna walk every day with my walker. I'm gonna use my crutches less and less. I got a wheelchair. They bought a wheelchair for me. That wheelchair lasted in my house probably a day or 2. I said, get that wheelchair out of here. I'm not going in no wheelchair. I'm gonna learn to walk again. No, for safety, Andrew. I said, no. I have a feeling that wheelchair is not for me. Please, I'm not being ignorant. I'm not being stubborn. You'll trust me on this one. I'll take my time on the crutches. I promise. I promise. And if I fall, I'll make sure I try and fall the best way. But I'm confident in myself. I'm not going in a wheelchair that's going to slow me down. I don't want anything to slow me down. I have a plan. If you're not following my plan, I'm sorry to say, but you're not on my team. And my plan is a genuine plan. And this was a fact. Not everybody wanted to listen to you. And even some of the closest people around you were like, please slow down, Andrew, please slow down. And I said, hey, trust in me. I'm not doing this for the wrong reasons. I believe I can do this. Please trust in me. And everyone was scared, and that's natural. People are going to be scared for you in really hard moments, and they really want you to slow down, genuinely, because they're scared. But they don't know you like you know yourself. I'm not a doctor, but the doctor said, Andrew, understand the pain levels here. If you cross uncomfort, you got to stop. If you're starting to walk too much, your leg is uncomfortable, stop. I would stop. I would rest until the next day, and I would go again. I would go again, and I'd go again. So, are there any scriptures that I recite to keep me focused? To be honest, not in particular, but I love a good story. I love a good story. So I was searching for many good stories. And all these stories I continuously search for. I didn't recite any scripture over and over and over. Whether it was a gospel reading or whether it was a movie I watched, all these things piece together the motivation. Seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. I wanted it. I wanted to get out of bed more than I wanted to stay in bed more. I wanted to walk again more than I didn't want to walk again. I wanted to eat food again one day. I can't open my jaw fully anymore. I can't go, when I go to the dentist, it hurts a lot, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm eating food. I'm drinking drinks. Life is going on. So, for example, what are you going to say?
Oh no, I know I'm just conscious a little on the time, but I know there's some shots, there's some pictures there that because people still, I mean, my mind is still running back to your eyes swollen, Andrew, and looking at those ribs broken. I mean, broken ribs are broken ribs. I've only seen that in movies. Okay, so to know someone who's actually gone through that, but I know there's some other pictures in terms of your recovery and so, Andrew. I think people want to see the other. Andrew not showing us all the pictures, you know. He has a lot more pictures there. Trust me, you know. But Andrew, if you want to show them some more shots of because you went from that in the hospital, but you didn't remain there. You didn't remain there at all. And I want you really to show some people how it is you came through, and there's some moments that I don't want us to miss.
Of course. So, so what I would do is I would try to find places that were really special to me. This is me in the gym. That was me in the gym in January, going back to the gym, pretending that that I would be back there one day. And I knew I would be back there one day. This is me looking at the ocean I could no longer sail in, that I used to sail in. So I was always searching for a place to go back to. Sometimes it was Fort George Hill. It would really allow me to feel a vibe, feel an inspiration. And I was always in a mood. I was just trying to excite myself and say, I'm gonna do this. This is me in physio. I'm just trying to have fun and play and get the best out of it. And this is some of the pictures I'll tell you all about. This is me in my routine. Look at how skinny I was. I lost almost 40 pounds, or maybe over 40 pounds. This was me on the spin bike about 35 days after the accident happened. I was in my routine. This is me in my routine. This is me on the right hand side getting a massage. I got a massage for my pain. On the left hand side, checking my ears to see if it'll come back. This was the first time I was able to go swimming again. That's the first time I went in water because of all the damaged scars I had on my leg. Then we're into February. We only now get into February. So we're now at a month and a half later. I'm back in the gym. I'm back hiking. I'm definitely not as strong as I would like to be. And my leg is starting to hurt though. My leg was starting to hurt, and it was a big fear. If you see the picture on the left, there's a lot of pressure on your knee and where the point broke and your ankle to do that. And that's what I do in my sport a lot. So it was a big fear for me to get over being able to do this. And while during this moment, Don called me and he said, Andrew, would you like to join us to come back on the school tours? Would you like to come with us to share your story? Because you have a miraculous story with what you're doing. You're recovering really fast and you're fighting and you're not giving up. And I believe the school on the left was the first appearance I made. Don, what school was that?
That was Bishops in Port of Spain.
Bishops.
High School in Port of Spain. Yeah, Bishops in Port of Spain.
Yes. So I resumed school tours with Don as he was on his in full flight journey. And we continue to inspire again. And I want to say that my story had hit stronger than ever. And it inspired me to do more. You can still see in my face hasn't come back to life to come back to full form in that picture yet. And we're just having a time inspiring and telling a story. And then we go to March, which was a really special day for me. This was the first day I got back into the boat to go sailing again. My whole team was there. You don't get to see it in the pictures because they were all behind the cameras. Really and truly, I would never forget this day again, because in the hospital, lying down on that bed, the doctor said, Andrew, you may never walk again. You may never be able to do that special thing in life, like walk again. If you can't walk, you can't sail like I do. You can do handicap sailing probably, but you can't do this sport, this specific sport. So this moment, I cried. To be honest, I cried a lot that day. Before I went in the boat, after I came out, I cried because I was really happy to make it. And it was like no other moment, And I was always believing I could get to this moment. And then in April, when I started to bring up the talk that, one day I'm going to go to the Olympics again, I was invited to the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee for a launch. And they said to me, Andrew, if you could go to the World Championships and complete at least 10 races of the championship, you could go to the Olympic Games. This is me in one race on the right-hand side. That guy behind me in that race finished seventh in the Olympics. I have no business being in front of these guys at this point in time, but I was fighting. I was always there, keeping this dream alive. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. That faith. And this is me in June. And this image hit the media wild. This was like, Lewis is ready for the Rio 2016 Olympics. He's going for gold. I believed I was going for gold, but my body was not ready for what came in Rio. My body was not ready to take on that breeze and that wind. But look at me. I'm fighting it. I'm not giving up. And so this is my first return back to Brazil since the accident in July for a little training.
Wow, 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 wow.
And
What a wonderful shot.
this was a really nice picture here because the streets were painted with the Olympics, and this was me standing up. This is the wall that fell on me. So that entire white concrete structure above my head, so is what fell on me. So if you look how tall that is, so I was boosted on top of that wall. Below that is another 2 or 3 feet down. So it was a big drop down. Well, that entire white structure, which is a brand new one now, which I hope they put with the right metal and stuff so it won't fall again. That whole thing is what came down on top of me on the other side of that wall. So that image, I don't think has ever been shown to the public before. But going back today was important for me to say, you know what? This wall is not going to keep me down. And I was in Brazil, and I was in Brazil for a reason, to compete in my second Olympic Games. And it was a hard Olympic Games. The ocean was wild. The Almighty sent some big waves and big currents and really tough conditions. Honestly, some conditions I asked myself, what am I doing out here? I am in pain. And when I look back on it, I said, you're out there because he wanted you to get stronger. He wanted you to get ready for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. This was your path for strength, Andrew. And these messages don't always come to you right away. They don't come to you right away. Sometimes you don't know why. Why is this happening to me? Why has the Olympics been postponed for another year? I don't know. And I want to really encourage you all to remember this. We are all miracles. What we do with that miracle is our choice. That's our choice. And my choice with that is to continue going with faith in everything that I do. Everything. What do you think about that, Don?
Wow, wow. I think we could show a little love to Andrew. You know, folks, somehow writers show a little love to Andrew. Even put a little comment here. What stood out to me, I mean, all things stood out about what you're saying, Andrew, but one thing that stood out to me is that even through pain, we can still accomplish purpose. Even through the pain, we can still accomplish purpose. It happens, and sometimes you have to do it. Yes, there are moments you're still scared. I mean, coming across somebody who had a punctured lung as well, and they telling you about how they felt. And folks, we have to be careful what we listen to. What we listen to. If we listen to the negative thoughts over and over, we could develop a victim mentality when really and truly we have a victor mentality inside of us. And we have to get in touch with that victor. And that means at times we have to keep going in spite of. I mentioned in the last program that those those 3 words are 3 words you need to keep close to you. In spite of what happens. You didn't come this far to only get this far. It's not what happens to you, but what you do about what happens to you will determine what happens to you. Okay, things happen in life. As Andrew had a moment there, did he know before that wall would have fallen on him? No, certainly not. But guess what? The wall fell, and that's history now. Look at that, the wall looking even better. Andrew, somebody recommended you. Probably because of you, you have the wall. You have the wall looking. You have the wall looking nice now. They probably needed a new wall, and you were the one to institute it. And I also admire the fact when you said that you could have sued them. Somebody recommended you could sue them. Folks, why are we going to add more pain, to make pain for somebody else because we are in pain? They didn't tell him quite rightfully. That's a factual thing. I think that's hats off to you. If they didn't tell you climb the wall, no, yeah, they need to secure their premises. And I know they would now. But Andrew, responding in that way, your response, as like with the crisis, that's why the response is very, very critical, no matter what happens to it. It could be the COVID, or it could be the after fall on a wall, but our response is very, very, very important. It's not how many times we fall, it's how many times we get up. Again, it's not how many times we fall, it's how many times we get up. Always let the times that we get up be more than the times that we fall. Okay, and it's the right mindset. Some people ask me, Andrew, what is it to be confident? It's really the right mindset. As I mentioned to some people, getting up to go and speak every day. I mean, now we can't have to do it on Zoom, right? But getting up before to go and speak every day, all parts of the country, sometimes you travel and you speak. No, you don't want to do it every day. But when you go and you meet Andrew Lewis, and you meet somebody who, in spite of the odds, was able to stand up in faith and not in fear. And that makes a difference. Stand in faith and not in fear. And have faith in God too. I mean, I was asking Josette there for a scripture. You know what I mean? For scripture, because there are scriptures that we could lean to. Some in music, but there are scriptures that we could also lean to as well. You know, seek and you will find. And if you seek for that purpose in you, in spite of all the people around you, in spite of all the people around you who are telling you, no, you can't, okay, just study about living right now. But no, that didn't mean his dream. It's his third Olympics Andrew qualified for. Whenever they have the next Olympics in Tokyo, he has qualified for his third Olympics. Now I'm telling him, you're an Olympian, but it sounds better when you're Olympic medal winner. Okay, so that's what we're going for now. It's not just to be an Olympian, but it's to go and get to go and get a medal. And folks, each of us need to remember that each of us are a miracle. I don't know who's celebrating a birthday today. I don't know who's celebrating an anniversary. If you are, happy birthday, happy anniversary. But I'll tell you this, every day for me, and I've been encouraging Andrew as well, is a birthday. Every day we have this thing called life, okay? Let us not take life for granted. Folks, let us not take life for granted. I think nature even now is speaking to us, even in this time of isolation and social distancing and so. We must not take things for granted of our freedom. You know, we can't hug everybody, giving everybody a shoulder now. And before, some people would have gotten offended now, be offended because of that. And now we have to give somebody a shoulder. I could imagine when this is over and they say, look, it's gone. I could imagine how many people will go and actually hug people and say, look, I am sorry. I am really sorry for the way I treated you, even a family member and a distant family member. I really love you. I really appreciate you, folks. This story could have ended differently. Andrew's story and my story and your story is ongoing. And I'm sure that there's some lessons in here. You know, I'm taking Maxine, certainly I can do all, I mean, you have different faith listening, or I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, the different faith listening, and certainly that's a powerful scripture there. And Andrew, you're very strong. What I admire, and folks, let me just give you all a little behind the scenes. Andrew is really and truly, I've had the opportunity to work with one or two athletes. You know, a couple of them I love and I work well with them. Andrew, to me, I mean, he's really, 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 really special. Not that the others aren't special too, because Andrew is always thinking about other people, always thinking about other people. And actually, as a matter of fact, Andrew, that's what we're going to be talking about. How could I help somebody else? How could I help others in our next program, which is on Saturday at 4 p.m. So, folks, I trust that you were blessed. I trust that you are blessed. Cheryl is now saying, all things are possible to them who believe. That's Mark 9:23. You know, you have to believe and get rid of the doubters. They're believers and they're doubters. Get rid of all the doubters in your life, all the naysayers, all the naysayers. Get rid of all the naysayers. They always know what you can't do. They're so focused on what you can't do. That's a job for them. Now, let's think about what we could do. So get the right people around you. Get the right people around you and don't take them for granted, especially in this time. I think we have a question before we go, Andrew. All right? Andrew, and it says here, you know, you're true inspiration. And I want to echo that as well, Andrew. You are a true inspiration. Josette is even sharing. She says, for we know all things work for good, but then for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Andrew, I know you love the Lord and you're called according to his purpose. So what was meant to be bad, you know, I can maybe do it with a minus sign, a minus and a plus and a minus. But if you look at it, a minus is really half of a plus. And a plus is only a plus and a minus is to look up, you know? So let's look up. There is hope, folks. Again, we've been talking about hope. And that hope is helping other people every day. I do have a few thoughts I want to share, but the time is close. Just 2 quick points, and it says, what we are going through won't last forever. Somebody who was taking notes, take a note of that. Whatever we are going through would not last forever. Josette, I want to tell you thank you, because you mentioned in your email to us about stop looking at the dates, you know, when the exam is coming, when am I going to graduate? When am I going to do this? Hello, just use today. focus on the moment that you have. That's why this is called moments with moments. Okay? Anxiety will set in. Thank you again, Joseph. Joseph is all, or Laura, not Joe, I'm saying Joseph, Laurelie, in fact, is all the way in Canada. So, Laurelie, we want to thank you for that. The other point is hope can be ignited by a spark of encouragement. And Andrew, I could imagine the hearts that are listening to you, and you are inspiring your inspirational story. You are actually helping people to hope again. And that's why the pictures are necessary. If we describe the pictures, you wouldn't get it until you actually see the pictures. And I want to thank you, Andrew, for pulling out those pictures out of the archives. You know, I mean, I can imagine the moments you felt when going through each one, and you're sharing some of the moments that you felt. But there's life and there's hope. Okay? So we want to make a world of a difference to those around us, folks. Each of us are a miracle. It's not how many times we fall, it's how many times you get up. And we all do have a story to tell. You may not be an Olympic athlete, but there's something that you can do that will help somebody go on. This has been moments, positive moments with Andrew and Don. Andrew, I don't know if you have any closing thoughts that you'd like to share. Certainly, you'd like to share. I mean, we want to see everybody here on Saturday. And we are going to put up this on YouTube. Andrew, what's the name of our YouTube channel? I think we have a YouTube channel for these programs.
Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. So
Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. And we do have an email. We encourage you to email your topics. Email your topics to andrewandonlive@gmail.com. Yes, we do have ideas, but we still want to hear from you. And again, we couldn't do this without Republic Bank. Thank you, Republic Bank. Andrew, maybe next time around you'll get to see a little slideshow of some pictures and different things, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Andrew carrying the flag and so for Trinidad and Tobago, and you can show some nice moments. Andrew and I get to be in schools and to encourage others. And that's why we're doing this too. So be an encouragement to use our voices, okay? And please do share. Again, thank you. We don't know how we're going to get a little token to Laurelie. We have to work that out. But the first person that registered was from South, and that's from the St. Michael's Community College, and I think that's the principal. Okay, so you're going to get a little token. I know Superior Street isn't far from you, so we're going to arrange a little token at Superior Street for you. So, Andrew, any closing thoughts?
Yes, I want to just touch on one more thing that I think is really powerful. That people say that I'm an inspiration, but you all here allow me to continue to inspire. You all here have come to hear my story. You've all have come here to spend time with Don and myself. And this is really important. This is where inspiration continues to come from and flow. Sometimes you do things that reach no one. And many things in my life I would have done to try and help people, help things with no effect would have happened. But we gotta be patient, because what you want will not come overnight, as we've spoken about. So for all of you who have whatever it is, the struggles in your life that you're going through, no matter what it is, the most important thing is to have faith and be patient and continue to remember that your heart is beating. And if you want to feel purpose, just rest your hand on your heart. Rest it is one of the most powerful things you could ever feel. Rest your hand on your heart, feel that beat, boop, boop, boop. So if I can't feel my purpose, I can't feel my purpose. Yeah, you can. Put your hand on your heart and feel that. That's all you need to do. Start small and build and build and build, and everything else there is limitless. It's not easy, but it's possible. And that's what makes life so much more beautiful, to realize that anything we put our minds through, it depends on how hard we want to work, how bad we want it, it's possible. So thank you all for coming here. Thank you, Republic Bank. We have a really nice presentation for you lined up on Saturday. I know I haven't touched on one of the biggest things that's super important to me about the whole team that really helped me get through this, because team is a whole different topic. All the people who brought me food, all the people who helped me. Team is a humongous topic. That might be a whole presentation by itself. But I want to encourage you all to go in love and peace. And as I told you with the coronavirus is trying to spread around the world. and it's doing somewhat of a big job, we could spread love even bigger. We spread love bigger than the coronavirus. In my opinion, we are winning. So blessings to all of you. Thank you all for coming. Don, you can close your show.
Okay, so folks, last thing I'm going to close up with here, we are not here to compete. We are here to complete. It's 4 o'clock. So those who are asking, it's 4 o'clock on Saturday, just to let you know, 4 o'clock on Saturday. But again, we're not here to compete, but we are here to complete the journey. Those of you, the difference between the word compete and complete is really that L. That's the letter that makes a difference. And that letter is love. And we are complete when we are, we're sharing love, unconditional love, just as God would with every single person that we come across. Let's not only do it in this COVID time, let's do it every single day, every single moment. This is called Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, and we're hoping to have all of you with us on Saturday, the 23rd, Saturday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. Please join us, and you will get an awesome email. I said the word awesome, I'm just thinking about your presentation again, but you will get the email with the link and everything again. So thank you. God bless you all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Have
Bye-bye.
a blessed day. Goodbye.